Hello and welcome. I've been asked so many times what are the ways that you could really diversify in your property investment portfolio, how you could diversify your risk to ensure that you're not really kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. In this short video, I'm going to share my 7 favorite multiple stream of income in properties. This process would allow you to triple your income in 1 year if you implement it and you're actually able to diversify without actually trying to do everything in one go. It would really help spread your risk out and obviously give you amazing return on investment. Before we get going, if you like this video or any of my videos, don't forget to hit the like button below, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these amazing tutorials. So before we get going about properties, because property is one of the best things you could ever invest in, is basic, we need to talk about what is diversification. What is diversification? Diversification is by investing in different parts or different sectors or different areas to ensure that you do not put all your eggs in one basket, okay? That then allows you to get multiple stream of income that would generate a massive cash flow whilst you sleep or whilst you're doing lots of things that you love. And the benefit also, basically, if one of the income stream goes down, you've got 2 or 3 or 4 more income streams that will be bringing you income. So again, it's vitally important in order for you to succeed to be able to diversify your portfolio so you can have multiple stream of income. The best and the most important thing also is to understand what are the best multiple stream of incomes, especially property incomes, that you could take advantage to take your property from where it is to where you want it to go, or i.e. to take your property investment journey to the next level. So my number 1 favorite multiple stream of property income is buy-to-let, right? Before we get going, what is buy-to-let? Buy-to-let is an investment property that you purchase solely to be able to rent, to make cash flow from it, and over time it also goes up in value. So lots of investors, lots of property investors, these are the sort of thing that they do. They look for a property, maybe a nice property, doesn't require any work, buy it probably at a discount, or maybe just buy it in the open market and then obviously rent it out to tenant, long-term tenant. That then generates them income. It could be £200 a month, 300, 400, however way. It depends on the area as well as the type of property that investor acquire. To move a bit further from buy to let, we have a sub strategy, which for me is one of the best strategies within the buy to let income stream. It's what I call buy, refurbish, refinance, recycle and rent. Basically, you look for a dilapidated property, maybe properties that have been vacant for a number of years, or properties that really has deteriorated and it needs work, it needs value to be added in. So basically, you then buy that property, not just at discount, you buy it at discount and then you go in and do work in the property, renovate the property to force the value. So that's why you said you're going to buy a discounted property, you refurbish, add value. Suppose you buy a 2-bedroom house, you then going to convert that house either into 3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. That then allows you to force the property value up. What that means basically gives you 2 benefits. One, it forces the value up, and secondly, it forces the income stream. What is that income? Is the cash flow, is the rent the tenant pay. If you were to renovate it as a 2-bedroom house, obviously you rent it as a 2-bedroom house. Suppose a 2-bedroom house is going for, let's say, maybe £700, right? Depending again in the area, that's how much you would make if you refurbish as a 2-bedroom house. However, if you refurbished it as a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom house, that then forces the rental income as well. So probably that you'll be able to rent it for £1,000 or £1,200. That's what you're forcing, and again, that is a cash flow. That is the money you make basically whilst you sleep. You don't have to actively do anything else after you've done the renovation to be able to actually get that money paid to you every single month. So basically that is the sort of appreciation that you get. I'll give an example of one of my property. I bought a property during COVID when everybody thought the world was ending. I was literally buying houses. So I bought this house somewhere in South Wales. It was a 2-bedroom house. I bought it, I converted it into 4-bedroom house. So I converted that into 4-bedroom house. Let me talk you through the figures. I bought the property at £80,000. right? I spent about £40,000, £20,000 to put down to buy the property, and another £20,000 to do the renovation, and obviously some legal cost as well as interest. So what then happened, once I've converted the property from a 2-bedroom house at 80,000 to a 4-bedroom house, by the time I finished the works, it took me about 3 to 4 months, I was able to actually remortgage that property at £140,000. Again, you can see from £80,000 to £140,000. What are the benefit out of that? I've moved the property from a 2-bedder to a 4-bedroom house. That's one. That then literally doubles my rental income, right? And again, what I also did basically, I had forced the appreciation, I forced the value of the property. So from £80,000 to £140,000. You do the maths, £80,000. I spent £40,000, which is my deposit and my renovation cost, right, to be able to actually get a property like that. Okay, again, I was able to kind of recycle all my money and then basically roll that money over to one of our properties. So again, these are the benefits you get from the first income stream, right? If you want to create wealth, you want to create financial freedom, these are the strategies you need to be thinking about, where you can add value, how you can force appreciation, which area you can buy a property that will generate you handsome return on investment. The second favorite income stream is what I call short-term rental. So yeah, what is short-term rental? It's the process by which an investor will secure or buy a property. Instead of renting it to a long-term tenant, they let it out in a short-term basis. What do I mean by short-term basis? They will rent it to event goers, tourists, contractors. They will do it as a retreat. Basically, they will do the property and chuck it on Airbnb or Booking.com, and then obviously attract guests that way. And again, this sort of income stream is absolutely amazing. I like to call it a cash machine. I love this strategy because it's kind of not lots of works required after you've done the work. For example, I secure a property. Give you an example of a property I secure I bought in Newcastle. It's a very nice 3-bedroom house, right? Did it really, really nice. Instead of renting it, because I know it's in a very good location, instead of renting that property, I then use it as an Airbnb. I'll talk you through the figures. Bought that property for about, I think, £60,000 or £70,000. I can't remember correctly how much it was, but I think it's about £70,000. I spent about £35,000 to £40,000 to do the property up, and again, I remortgaged that property at £130,000. And again, you can see the trend there. I was able to recycle it using the BRRR method into the short-term income stream. So basically, I was able then to actually put that property in Airbnb and then obviously rent it on a nightly basis. So that 3-bedroom house generates me about, in average, £2,000 to £2,500 per calendar month. You heard me right, £2,000 to £2,500 per calendar month. And again, that's another reason why I love this strategy. I call this strategy a cash machine. It's literally, it throws the money out to you. So again, that's the reason why it is my second strategy, okay? I love this strategy. I can do whatever it takes to get lots of properties doing this. And the best thing about this strategy also, there's not lots of repair and maintenance to do, and you've got access to the property. You can do whatever you want to do with the property as well. So the third favorite source of income, if you want to diversify, is basically what we call rent to rent. Rent to rent is my bread and butter. That's the strategy I executed when I start my property investment journey. Let me tell you a bit about it. Rent to rent is the process by which an investor would rent a property from a landlord, usually a struggling landlord, and then rent that property out on in room by room basis, and again, you use it as service accommodation. If you use it as a service accommodation, it's called rent to service accommodation. So basically, these are the strategies you could use. Basically, if you're doing as a rental HMO, which is renting it room by room, basically again, that sort of strategy help you take over a property that could worth maybe £500, £1 million, and then you secure the property from a struggling landlord with a guaranteed rent. Right, you then rent that property room by room basis. Again, depending on the area where you're at, you could be making anywhere from £500 to about £1,000 a month net profit on your rent-to-rent property deals. And again, if it happens to be a rent-to-service accommodation deal, again, you could be making anywhere from 1,500 to about 2,500 pounds. Again, you can see how lucrative these sort of strategies. And again, I call this a way to start your property investment journey without worrying about 50,000 pounds deposit, 100,000 pounds deposit, or maybe just because you want to make your money work a lot harder for you, you can use a strategy like this. I love this. This is the strategy that took me from where I was to where I am now, because I had secured lots of rent-to-service accommodation deals that enables me to save money to start investing in my own properties. So that's my third favorite source of income. So I love it, and I continuously do it, and I'm doing it every single day. These are my strategies. As I sat with you right now, I've just had all my apartments and my properties booked, and I'm super excited. I sat here today impacting you positively. The fourth source of income would be what we call deal packaging or deal sourcing, if you want to know what it is. So basically, it's the process by which an investor would go and search for a deal, negotiate, secure the deal, and then wrap that information, right, with all the analysis and sell that information to an investor who hasn't got the time to do what you've just did. Right? Hasn't got the time to search, secure, negotiate deals. You sell that information to them. Again, it's a massive income stream, this is. I cannot emphasize how important this income stream is, because if you haven't got money, if you haven't got nothing, this is the strategy you need to think about, because this strategy, it doesn't require to have rent or deposit. It doesn't require you to have a deposit to buy a house. It doesn't require you to pay for renovation, massive renovation. All it requires is basically a train ticket or a car to drive to your location, to your gold mine area. You go and look for this deal, literally negotiate this deal, secure these deals, and sell that information to an investor. A good source deal will generate you anywhere from £3,000 to about 6 or 7 or 10,000 pounds. A couple of years ago, we were able to source a land, right, again in South Wales. We were able to source that land and made about £50,000. Right, £50,000 in 2 weeks of work is really worth the weight of gold. And again, these are the sort of strategies you can use. And again, if you're worrying about not having money or really worrying about not being able to actually get into properties, the reason why doing this strategy is so important, or it generates your income, is because it gets you a massive exposure in all the strategies, and it's a massive way to make a good return on your investment. If you can secure 3 or 4 property deals a month, again, you're talking about 10 to 15,000 pounds a month. And again, it's a massive way of having to diversify your income stream. Again, I do this every day. I have people working with me to secure these sort of properties, and then obviously either push it onto a student or to our investor. And again, you can do exactly the same thing if you want to kind of diversify your income stream, especially if you only got rent to rent, or if you only got buy to let. You can literally go and look for deals like this and sell that information to people who needs it the most. People don't have time to negotiate to get this deal. My fifth favorite source of income is what we call option. It's called purchase lease option. People call it lease option agreement. Some people call it option, whatever you call it. Is the process by which an investor would agree to buy a property at today's price for some time in the future, right? I'll give an example. Suppose you saw a property. Let's say you saw the property in Birmingham, for example, and this property worth about, in today, it worth about maybe 200,000, okay? And then, but the landlord is really struggling to sell it, or the homeowner is struggling to sell it, or the own homeowner is not really desperate to actually sell the property. They just want to get the right money for it, and it hasn't sold. So what you could do, you can approach that sort of owner and say, listen, how about if you could agree for me to buy your property now at a specific price, and I pay that price in the future. So you can say, okay, your property worth 200,000 now. You know you haven't sold it at 200,000. However, I'm happy, or I'm prepared to pay you 205,000 pounds for the property. However, you can only get the money in about 7 or 10 years time, basically, obviously, to allow the market to recover in order for me to pay your money back. Again, if the landlord has been struggling with that property, has not been able to rent it, and they just want someone to look after that property, it could be a massive opportunity for you and the landlord Hear me out. How do you make money out of this strategy? So what you do then basically, you secure that property on a purchase lease option agreement, right? Obviously, you would have your options fees to pay, and you will take full responsibility of the property. So what that means basically, you're acting as if you own the property, where you're responsible to pay the mortgage. Obviously, you pay that mortgage either directly to the homeowner, or the homeowner would instruct you to pay on their behalf to the mortgage lender. Right? Obviously, you're responsible for the repairs. You're responsible for maintaining the property. Even if you wanted to add value to the property, you can also add value to the property, and then you can agree on a monthly option fee to the landlord in order for that deal to be legally executable. So again, you can agree. Then suppose you agree on a lease option agreement to pay the homeowner a monthly recurring income to him, say for about £500. So what you then do, once you've secured that property at a £500 rent, you can go then and rent that property to a normal tenant. Right? You go and rent the property. Suppose it's a 3-bedroom house and it's in Birmingham, you can then go and rent that property for £900. So what you then do every single month is to pay the landlord their £500, and then obviously you then keep the £400 as a savings towards buying the property. Right? You don't obviously spend the money unless if you've got a repair and maintenance to do, but then you use that money then to save that money then to be able to buy the property in the future. In a nutshell, that's what option agreement. And again, we've secured few deals in this strategy. This strategy again helps you take control of a property without even owning it, and then obviously making massive return on your investments. Again, that's a massive benefit if you're ever thinking about buying a property. If you're ever thinking about you don't have money to actually invest, look for deals like this. These are deals that would allow you to start your property investment journey without even owning a property, and then obviously buying the property in the future. And this is a strategy that also allows you to live in your dream home before your targeted deadline. Okay, so if you set yourself to acquire a property or buy a property in about 7, 8 or 10 years, and if you've got this on a lease option agreement, then obviously you can move into that house sooner than you planned. My 6th favorite source of income is property training business. So obviously I've learned a lot about property. I've gone through a lot in my property investment journey, and there are so many people out there who are looking into breaking into the property market. So I get income from training people, prospective investors who are looking to start and scale their property investment journey. I've done it multiple times. I've done it lots of times. So what I do basically, I teach them or I train them to be able to use the same roadmap I took to take me to where I am in a quicker, most efficient way, instead of literally waiting or literally learning by try and error. So I use my experience and my know-how as well as my team to work with them to actually start and scale their property investment journey. And I also offer a mentorship program to a selective number of people as well to help them actually hold their hands, train them, teach them, become their mentor, their accountability partner. Obviously, they tend to spend days with me. I answer their phone calls. I give them 24 hours access to me. They will have access to all my legal team, all the people I work with, all the legal documents, and then obviously I have a renovation company. I also help them do the renovation company. So literally, I help them hold their hand to allow them to actually speed up, not just speed up their investment journey, but also allow them to swiftly execute property strategies without actually struggling that much. Because obviously sometimes when you start your property investment journey, you need someone to go to. You need someone that you could call, someone that you could ask advice. Sometimes you can do the trainings, but if you had a difficult situation, if you haven't got someone to go to, you tend to struggle a bit. Hence the reason why I provide that mentorship program also to selective number of people. And obviously I'm doing that just in a way of giving back, but at the same time it's also another source of income from my diversified income stream. My 7th and most important or joyous income stream is co-sourcing. Co-sourcing is an absolutely amazing way to actually work as a team to get yourself to the next level. What is co-sourcing? Basically, is to work with number of sources. Sources are people that are going out there to look for properties that they can search, negotiate and secure that may not be able to sell that property to their own investors, or maybe they don't even have investors. They've got the properties, they haven't got investors to actually help them sell the properties. So what they do basically, they're looking for people like yourself who's happy to co-source and help them sell the property. Maybe they've got these properties, but they're not compliant also, so they're not allowed to actually sell the property because they're not compliant. If you are compliant, basically, you can then grab that property. If it hits all your investor criteria, you can then help that investor or that sourcer sell that property to your investors. And then what you do, you then split the sourcing fee. You can go into 50-50, 60-40, 30-70, whatever agreement you have. And again, that's another source of income, right? That's one of my source of income as well. I've got my student, investors, sources, deal sources throughout the UK are literally working with us to help them sell the property deals that they have, okay? In a nutshell, these are my 7th source of income. I'm going to go through them again quickly so I can summarize so you know exactly what they are. If you want to implement any of them and you need help, I'm happy to help you to actually go through them all. So number 1 is buy to let. Buy to let is absolutely amazing way to start your property investment journey. Obviously, you need an upfront investment for that. Or you need to raise money to be able to put your deposit down. The second one is short-term rental. Again, the short-term rental, you can buy a property instead of renting it to tenant. You then rent it to guest, and then obviously make your money that way. Or basically just put the property on Airbnb or Booking.com and make your money that way. The third favorite one is rent to rent, which as I've said, you can rent the property, rent it back to tenant on a room-by-room basis, or you can rent the property, you rent it as a service accommodation. And then the fourth income stream would be deal packaging. You literally search, source, secure, negotiate these property deals, and then sell the information handsomely to other investors. And my fifth favorite source of income is option. This is agreeing to buy a property at today's price, and then obviously I'm completing about 7 or 10 years time. And again, my sixth source of income is my property trading business. And obviously the seventh source of income is co-sourcing. Again, this is the way you can diversify and make multiple streams of income so that you don't have to worry about one of the strategies not bringing you income. And then obviously I would advise you, in order for you to execute these strategies, you need to know what you're doing. Not just what you're doing. You don't want to execute all these strategies in one go, because one, you need manpower, you need systemization, you need lots of arrangement in order for you to able to do things like that. So again, these are the things you could do to actually start making recurring income. You can diversify. You could do two of these strategies. You can do 3 of them. You can do 4 of them. But ensure that you learn and know one of them inside and out before you start any of the other strategies, because obviously it will just be overwhelming to you and won't be able to do it. And again, if you want to learn about this strategy, if you want someone to hold your hand to take you from where you are to where you want to go, book a free strategy call with me where I can ask you what you intend to do. I can answer any of your questions. And then you've got 30 minutes with me to ask me any questions also. I can ask you questions to learn about where you are in your property investment journey. And then if there is an opportunity for us to work together, then obviously we can work together where I would help you start and scale your property investment journey to the next level. And again, it's completely free, no string attached. It's purely just about yourself, to learn about you, to see what you want to do. And then hopefully I may be able to help you to start and scale your property investment journey to the next level. I really hope this video has been helpful. And if this video has been helpful, don't forget to hit the like button below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of these amazing tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to sharing next video.